Probably
very poorly.
I'm looking
very poorly. Well, hi, everybody. Your eyes do not deceive you. I am not Mrs. Claus.
You might be. I'm pretty sure she's a redhead.
I saw that on Santa Claus is Coming to Town, but her name was Jessica.
There you go.
Just a little bit of useful trivia there. So on live with us tonight, we have Phyllis, who I saw her face and then it went away. And then we have Terry. Say hi to Terry. And Robin is my dear friend, who's also a sales director. She lives in Cedar City, Utah.
Indeed.
And she's part of our family. We have the same senior director. We had the same national. And what I asked her to do, because we have an event coming up next Friday night. So everybody who's local, who's watching this, or if you're Phyllis and Terry watching this live right now, if you can kind of ask questions too. This is important because if you've got a question, that'll be good. But I have to get the screen back to what I want. So pause for identification. Up to slideshow, current slide. Then I have to hit the button. Terry, that's what I did last time. I didn't go back to get the toolbar. So last week when we had the snafu happen, that is what happened. There she is, looking all Christmassy. All right, now we're ready to share a screen and have Robin talk to you guys for a quick second, or 7 or 12, or however long she wants to talk. Robin Harris, take it away, my friend. Talk about this.
I will tell all of my story. So obviously we are going to be getting together. I'm really excited because even though I live in Utah, I'm going to get to come in for this. We are having an evening with the stars, and Linda and Danny and I and our units are all invited, and I am excited to get to come in. Hopefully Terry and some of the other new people that have signed up since I have been able to participate in things. So we have our Senior National Sales Director Emeriti, Rebecca Evans, Emeritus. Emeriti means there's more than one of her. Emeritus is going to be there, and she is so amazing. You guys really want to meet her. I'm excited about that. We're just going to be celebrating our stars, whether you are one or you're about to be one or you're planning to be one or you're going to be one or you are going to be a star, right? Okay. Anyways, and the people who want to celebrate the stars are all invited. There's an early reception at 5:45 for stars only. And then at 6:30, you and your guests, your spouse, my husband is coming. Danny's husband is coming. It's nothing to cough at, but it is. Rebecca's husband is coming. Linda's husband has to come because he lives there. It's going to be at Linda's house. And you guys have all this great information you'll be able to get. But one of the fun things that we're going to be doing is called blessing bags. And instead of doing a gift exchange, sometimes, we love gift exchange, but unless you're the person that goes home with the booby prize that was silly and you're like, now what do you do with this? Or even if you love it, you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So instead, what I thought we would do is we're going to do blessing bags. We'll each bring 5 items, 5 to 10. It depends on what you're bringing. I'm not putting a budget on it because that's personal, but you can go to the Dollar Tree and buy 5 pens for $1.25. So anything from 5 pens to 5 little Kleenex packs to 5 of your favorite candy bars to 5 pair of earrings because you've got a friend that does paparazzi. It doesn't really matter, you guys. Just 5. If you love journals, a specific journal, and you wanted to bring 5 of those, or your church will donate 5 Bibles, they just need to fit in a miracle set bag. That's our plan. We're going to be filling miracle set bags. We're going to put 5 items in each one. So if you're bringing 5 Bibles that your church donated to you, well, we don't want to put 5 Bibles in one bag. So we'll eat up and we'll choose something different for the person that's in our heart that really needs to be encouraged this year. So for example, there's a girl at the grocery store that is always particularly excited to see me. I'm not sure why. She has not done Mary Kay with me. We do not live life together. But when she sees me, she likes me, and I can tell that her life has been rough. She's been struggling. Her family's not sure what they're doing for Christmas. And I just feel like she needs to know that somebody loves her, regardless of whether or not she's trying Mary Kay. So I don't want you guys to bring Mary Kay products. I want you to bring something that you think would be sweet, that you'd love to receive, not size or a color or whatever, but stretchy headbands or just just kind of keep your mind open about what you think you could bring 5 of. And then we're going to mix and match and make up some bags. And if you don't know who to give one to and you can't think of anybody, then we'll have somebody else that probably can figure that out who that is. Maybe Danny could take one to the administrator of the senior center that she's bringing adopt a grandparent gifts to.
Sure.
So who knows? Who knows? There's lots of ideas, and we'll talk about that night. But that's what we're thinking. So just 5 to 10. So if you wanted to bring a couple packs of cute pens and everybody would have pens, when you do your sign up, I think we'll be able to see that. So you're going to register at this link or go to the Vipe link, vipelnk.com/December 24 star event. And then once you have said, yes, I'm coming, and you sign in, it'll take you to a sign up genius page where you can sign up to bring what kind of snack you have and how many people you're bringing. And it's actually asking you what you're going to bring. So think about that. I don't think you have to know. If you just say 5 mystery gifts, maybe let us know once you decide. And you guys can find me on Facebook. I'm the only Rob. So you can find me on Facebook, and whoever's watching this, but it's just a fun idea. It's not, doesn't have to be anything in particular, just something you wouldn't mind getting in a little gift bag to say, hey, you're loved this season. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job. Oh, and I'm going to bring some Christmas cards that we can write love notes on too. So there you go. Okay. Any more information you like than that, Danny? Oh, and we're going to be playing games that night. I happen to know there's going to be a pretty amazing game, and we're going to have food, and I'm really excited about it, by the way. So there you go.
Be a fun
There's the plan.
So, yeah, for sure. And so if you're a star consultant, you get to come early. If you are not a star consultant, you absolutely still can come and should, because it's still going to be fun, and we're all going to have a good time and have good laughing. And yeah, it'll be a hoot. And, plus I'll be there, and Robin will be there, and we're a lot of fun.
And together, we're not even just double hoot. We're like exponential hoot amount of hoots.
You think you laugh now.
So, yes.
It's a lot of fun.
Hooting.
Robin, thank you for hopping on to explain that. Does that make sense?
Thank you
Phyllis
so
and
much.
Terry?
I'll go find my group. Good night, you guys. Have a great meeting.
Good night, beautiful.
Oh, do you guys have questions really quick? I mean, Terry or Phyllis, if anything doesn't make sense, now would be an excellent time for you to tell us so that we can fix it before all the other people hear it. Any questions?
Phyllis, you're muted, baby.
Everybody's muted but us. And you both talked. Terry talked too. And she
okay.
Terry, I didn't see it. I'm sorry, baby.
Okay, Phyllis, no, it all makes sense. I love the idea. But when I saw Linda's post about the event, I tried that link, but it didn't work. She didn't have it where you can just click on it.
Indeed, because it's an image. Yeah.
So no, not the image where she wrote it. I mean, where she typed it in. It's not where you can just click on that and it'll take you there, is what I'm saying.
I see. Thank you. That's interesting. So maybe she just had a little typo or something. Was that on the Miracles page?
No, it was on her page.
On the Keepers
page, yes.
Yeah, I'll put it over on our page too, though. But
okay, all right, great. Yeah,
yeah. She'll get it posted everywhere, but we'll first. Yeah, you're right. That link is not linky.
Yeah, it's not to where you can just click on that and it'll just take you right there. Yeah.
Indeed.
I did the QR code scan when you guys were in the waiting room real quick just to see if it would work. And the QR code is live.
The QR code is live, yeah, but it's hard if you're actually looking at it on your phone. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it a little tricky.
Use our phones a lot.
It's like, quick, send it to your sister and then run over and take a QR code of hers. That's what you got to do.
Just send it to your neighbor. Like, could you just scan this for me really quick so I can scan it off your phone? So you can scan it on my phone. Yeah. Oh, poop in a ditch. Where'd that go? Okay, two.
All right, cool. So you'll follow up on that one, Robin.
I will figure that out. Thank you so much, Phyllis.
You're welcome, Robin. It's good to see you.
Have a great day. See you later. Good to meet you, Terry. I hope I meet you next week. Bye.
She's coming. Okay.
Good.
All right, let me get to sharing the screen again, friends. All right. So we're going to double back because we're still in announcement time. And then I've got a special treat for you all. But let's get here. I'm trying to move so quickly, and I think I've got it right. Da, da, da. Yes. Okay, here's your Christmas tree with your 12 days of Mary Kay Christmas, so you can get new spring products, Sparkle City gift cards, and coaching calls.
Fun.
Or smaller amounts of things. I am going to extend it through the end of the month. I'm not just stopping it tomorrow. That would be mean. So
yes,
that would be very Grinch-like. So I'm going to fix that, and we'll extend it through the 31st. But if you're a star, that'll count as 2 ornaments on the tree.
Okay.
And then just look through, like, how can I really maximize things? So, like, you guys being on here for the week meeting, cross that off. If last week, cross that off, Terry. So you've already got 2 just for being here this week and last week. And then whatever else is on there, there's lots of different ways to win. 5 ornaments plus $350 gets you one of the spring products. 10 ornaments in a 400 order gets you the spring product and a Sparkle City gift card. 700 wholesale with all of the ornaments completed gets you the spring product, the gift card, and a coaching call with a sales director who is not me, because sometimes it's good to hear a voice that's not mama voice, because we sound like mwah, 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 mwah. And so, because I know this is true, it's good to sometimes throw it in there. So, hey, if you get $350 wholesale in by Sunday night, you will be invited to a Zoom to hear from National Sales Director Tammy Craig-Smith. This, I think, is her last training that she is doing as an active national. She's retiring on January 1st.
Oh, my gosh.
A whole bunch of them. I'll tell you a story in a second. But if you get 700 in by the 15th, you also go into a drawing for some cash prizes. They Venmo you money. It's very exciting. And some other prizes, I think, too. But we've seen people win, so we know it's true. So, if you're working towards finishing your star, that's a cool thing. This bag, the Power, the monthly selling challenge, that bag is fantastically awesome. It's a great bag for groceries or what have you. It's awesome. This we just went over. Oopsie, right. I didn't mean to gloss over it quite that quickly. There we go. It's right off of 215 and either Windmill or Warm Springs. Linda's house is very easily accessible.
Okay. And
it's going to be great. It'll be a lot of fun. So I can't wait. I will probably wear a Santa hat to that event as well. Strive to Drive in 2025. This is our SoCal Jamboree, January 3rd and 4th in Escondido. It's a one-night hotel stay. We get down there. We leave in the morning, get there early afternoon, get lots and lots of our cup filled. And then on Saturday, more awesomeness. We're done by 5. Pardon me. And then we hightail it back to town. So if you are going to register, it's not too late to register. It does get you training. There is definitely rooming to be shared. You all kind of like throw yourselves in a hotel room with your buddies, and it's kind of like, like a slumber party, because,
yep.
we usually throw like 4 people in a room.
Yep.
And, sometimes people will bring extra air mattresses or whatever if they don't want to share a bed. But it's one night. It's a piece of cake. Mm-hmm. And they do have T-shirts, but I will tell you guys, last year I ordered the T-shirt, and I think it was like 3 sizes too small. It was like hilarious. So I did not order the T-shirt this time.
Oh my.
Because I was like, I'm not spending money to have it not look right. So, but the charge for the event for the 2 days is a great price. And basically, you guys will get your cups filled. You get jazzed up, ready to do the second half of our seminar year, because Mary Kay always wanted there to be kind of big quarterly training types of events. So it was like she would do, seminar is in the summer. Then there would be a fall festival that she would assume that her nationals would do, their own events. Then there's leadership conference for the directors. Mm-hmm. And nationals. And there's always some form of a January jumpstart or jamboree. They always come up with some J slogan there. Always something in January. Our leadership conference is really early this year. Normally we're further down in the month, but basically we get back from Escondido Sunday night and I fly to San Antonio Sunday.
Oh, dang.
But you guys, you'll be like on fire, ready to like just tackle the whole world, and it'll be great. And so it's not too late to register. Let me know if you register, because I don't have access to that information.
Okay.
And but you do get to put like who your director is and that kind of stuff on there. And if you've got any questions, let me know. But it's a good hang. We went last year, a group of us, and it was a lot of fun. And now I wanted to do one final announcement regarding Adopt a Grandparent. If anybody is watching on the replay or anybody here that has updated numbers to share, let me know, because we are now kind of in that finalizing stage. We've got other units participating too, so it's not just us. Linda's unit is participating, Trish's unit, Emily Verso, Amber Taylor, I think there's a couple others I'm forgetting, but basically our goal is to attack several places. So Royal Spring is a facility we commonly have used or serviced up in Summerlin. They have 225 beds.
Okay.
Then Brandon, who was the activities director there, he now is the activities director at an adult daycare center here in Henderson.
Oh.
And there's one off of Jones, and these are smaller, and they're like these people don't stay the night, but there's 50 clients in the Green Valley area, and there's 65 clients up at Jones in the north end of town in North Las Vegas. And then Amy Rich from our unit, she always takes care of the Beehive House, which is kind of one that's near and dear to her. So she's got that one done. So between all of us so far, I mean, I think it's all going to come together. And then once I know where we're going and what date we're going, because a lot of that gets decided once I know how many are coming from other places. Because, for example, let's pretend that Trish has 65 on the dot. Well, I'm going to send her people and her, they can coordinate delivery date to that specific location. That way, I'm not having to drive to 4 places. We're all not having to drive to 4 places, and we can all kind of just, kind of divide and conquer. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
We're learning how to be more efficient in this time of the year so that we're not pulling our hair out at the last minute. So I think that's a really good thing. But I've got my posted up over on the wall so I can start putting tallies in. And it's just going to be great. So that's that announcement. Now, while I'm doing this, I have to tell you a little story. So no, that's not true. Monday, I was on Vicky Auth's Zoom, and Vicky Auth is part of the Evans area. Vicky was or is Rebecca's Offspring National. She was actually her first hostess. And she was, I don't think she was her first Offspring sales director. She might've been. But anyway, Vicky is retiring this year as well. And so
wow.
I'm going to talk to you about this because everybody kind of started the freak out. And I want to make sure everybody knows there's nothing to freak out about. It's all good. I'm getting myself set here on the right spot so I can be able to cue this up at the right time. Okay, good. All right, so here's what's happened. This is story time for Terry. When you're a national sales director, you commonly opt to retire at the age of 65. Because what happens is that the company has what they call a family security program, where they take your highest 5 years. They from the last 5 years, they take your highest 3 and they average it. And then you get 65% of that monthly for 15 years. And if you should pass away, it goes to your family. So it's a pretty awesome deal. And that's why a lot of people envision themselves like they want to become a national sales director. It's the only position where you're kind of, you're forced to relaunch, you're forced to retire. And you can actually be as old as 69 to do it. You can stay till you're 69. but they would like you to enjoy your life. They want you to be able to have plenty of years left. And that's why they've always considered 65 to be the year. You can retire earlier as long as you have put in at least 5 years as a national sales director. You can retire. I've seen a couple of them who are clearly not 65 retiring over the years. And one of them, she was a college football coach's wife. Do you remember her? Was it Stubbs? Carol Stubbs? I can't remember. It'll come to us later at like 1 a.m. It'll come to me. Anyway, but here's what happened. For lots of national sales directors, 2020 and 2021 were their best years ever. And mathematically, a lot of them had met with their financial advisors, and they had said, if you wait, you lose that year, or those 2 years if you wait. So Tammy Craik is not 65. I think she's 62 or 63. But if she waits till she's 65, she loses those 2 years. Vicky is not 65. She's 64. If she retires early, she loses that year. Or if she waits till she's 65, she loses 2020. So it's 100% smart financial decisions that went into this. And that's why it's a record number only in that we're all together. All of us are at one leadership conference this year together. So it seems like it's a lot, and it is, but it's 37 that are retiring. And apparently next year, there's another 37. So that would bring us down to, I think we'll have like 60 nationals, unless some of us hurry up and become a national. Anyway, so that's the scoop. And Pamela Waldrop Shaw is one of the top national sales directors in the company. She's absolutely amazing. She is such a powerful speaker. She is retiring on time. She is 65. Like when you start doing that, when she talks through the numbers, it's like, okay, I knew she was retiring. But she was on Vicky's final Zoom was Monday. And she invited Pam to come on and train the directors. So you're getting kind of a little bit of a talk like you're kind of like a director. And there might be a little bit of talk in there that you're like, I have no idea what she's talking about, but I'm going to write it down. Because she talks fast, but she also, the good news is you'll be able to go back and rewind and watch things, right? But I absolutely love hearing her talk. I wrote pages and pages of notes myself. And so I'm gonna press play here and kind of set it up, and we'll be able to, I think, get it all in here before we're done tonight. So take lots of notes, and then we'll chat when she's done, okay? And I just got to make sure I get to the right spot so it shares the right thing. Isn't that a great idea? I think we're going to be good. So when I go to full screen, I just need you guys to tell me if you see it, okay? Okay. That's as full as it's going to get, I think.
Excited to hear from her this morning. She's certainly respected in my world, my life. Thank you, Pam, for your years of, we love to hash things out.
Are you guys hearing that?
Her and I together. And so thank you for that very unique friendship, like the snowflake. I value you.
Yes.
So I asked her, she's never been on one of our calls. I said, this is it, girl. We've got 2 weeks left. Together, we'll be retiring on that San Antonio stage. So she is gracing us with her presence this morning. Certainly busy. I know what she's going through because there are so many things we have to take care of in retirement. I'm like, it's a full-time job, you guys. It's been crazy. But here she is, divinely here for you this morning. So welcome the amazing Inner Circle, Pam Shaw.
Thank you, Vicki. You're just one of my favorite humans, and Alan as well, both of you, and all the years that we have journeyed together in Mary Kay on trips, life. There's just really no way to put it. And if anybody else had asked me to do something else in December, I would have said a hard no and had not flipped my head. But there's just no way that I wouldn't say yes to you for all the reasons. I treasure your friendship. You're one of the most brilliant minds I know, and the ability to have shared this journey and the journey that we're on now still together is such a gift. I hopped on when Charlie was talking about I recognize and I'm a DIQ. My son is also a director. And so I want to congratulate Shay, Jenna, and the DIQs. And Jenna, I just want to say, for you, the choice to say yes to this. I did not know when, years ago, or even 2 years ago, or even last year, what the decision would be around my unit. But I want to congratulate you for looking forward to and embracing carrying forward your mother's legacy. Any other business, if you had if Vicki was an attorney and she decided to retire, she would pass her business on to someone in the family if they wanted to become an attorney to step into that role. And so how blessed we are, how truly fortunate that our company sees value in this piece of the marketing plan for national sales directors. And so my son is also learning the business, and there's a lot to learn. But I will tell you, Charlie, there were days when I woke up and was like, woo, DIQ is a proving ground. And there were two of us working on it together. And so I want to just say this to all of you. First of all, it's an honor to be in front of you today. But as I'm looking at my sister nationals whose adult children have said, yeah, I want to do that. Gosh, the list is long. Just this year, well, Pam Toll's daughter, Natalie, became a director last year. And I was just talking to Pam. She's like, how's Thomas doing? I'm like, you know what? He's doing really well. He's learning a lot. And I made a little video. It's 2 minutes, but I made a little video to kind of show how he'd been a part of Mary Kay for 30 years. He's 30. He was born in Dallas at Seminar on day 00. And then when he was 2, we were number 1. So he came as a kid of a Mary Kay queen, and he was 3, same thing. And then when he was 7, we debuted our national area, and he was standing there then. And then when Jerry passed away, he started coming with me to help when he was 12. And so the video kind of goes through all of that. So in a way, he's been a part of Mary Kay for 30 years, not unlike Jenna. And what Pam Toll said was, hey, we built it to last. We built units to last. And so I just want to say to you guys, everybody on this call has the same opportunity to build something strong that will last if you choose to maximize the Mary Kay marketing plan and benefits. Today, our families are reaping fruit from very difficult plantings from years ago. Decisions Vicki and I made at a season of life where the opportunity was there to build strong $1 million units. We live today in an entitled world where people would rather have it be easy and comfortable, the whole way of humanity. It hasn't changed the value of hard work and building something roots down. The value of that has not changed. And so here we are entering month 6 of Seminar 2025 and the last month of 2024. And there are 2 groupings of 90 days in front of us. And so how clearly have you established the results that you want to get this month, the results that you want to have at Seminar 2025? Because the strategy, the clarity, the repetition, it matters. In general, as leaders, we want to impact 3 things: sustainable and ongoing growth. We don't want to take 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. Sustainable might mean 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, 5 steps forward, 2 steps back, but that is forward. We want to establish sustainable and ongoing growth. We want to create transferable skills. And 3, we want to increase our influence. Those are the things. And I believe our biggest liability is distraction. If you don't know what you stand for or prioritize, you'll get stumped and distracted, lured and tricked by circumstances. You might even embrace distraction. Here we are in one of the most distractible months, beautiful months. I love December. I love Christmas. But it's important to define the clarity of what you want out of this month as it relates to your business so that you don't get lured by the distractions. You actually redefine procrastination in a way that honors a circumstance or a vacation or the need for downtime or some other worthy but not best choice if you're not clear. I've seen people do this for a lifetime and through 3 generations in their own families without recognizing or having any awareness that the commitment to build what God has asked and invited and anointed you to build keeps getting put on the back burner. Values are the GPS for your time, the minutes and hours of your day, how you prioritize people, action, effective growth. Your biggest competition, it's not each other. It's not the other leaders of the Diamond Seminar. The biggest risk to your future and your biggest competition are the distractions you have in your life that compete for right now attention. When you eliminate as much time between, I need to do this thing and doing the thing, when you actually do the thing instead of putting off the thing, it takes a fraction of the time and space and energy that you created in your head for it by repeating it over and over and over. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this without ever doing it. When you do the thing and shorten the time between knowing and doing, you actually have more time for creativity and execution because procrastination and dread, it doesn't weigh you down. On any given day, you're either networking for your next leader and multiplier, or you're waiting for people much less skilled, much less committed, much less devoted, with much less skin in the game to do it for you. If your personal team size and unit size hasn't changed radically every year, measured either through the actual size of your unit or multiplication of growing offspring sales directors, then you're more likely in maintenance mode or working to keep from losing instead of working to create growth. That truth will separate average from good, good from great. On any given day, on any given week, on any given month, you have to answer a very simple question. It relates to your balcony, your high level, and it relates to shooting for the moon and seeing the stars, and it relates to your basement, what's the lowest. So it's a twofold question. 1, how big can you dream? What do you really want? What has God called you to do? And what's the vision he's placed on your heart? That whisper, that's a clue for what he has for you if you'll only do your part in creating leadership and growth. So what's the high? What's the big dream? And then number 2, what's the least you'll accept from yourself? Is the least you'll accept from yourself, 4,500 production? Or 10,000 to be on the national sales director call? Is the least you'll accept from yourself 17,000 that puts you in the iconic pink Cadillac? Is the least you'll accept from yourself trip production? Is the least you'll accept from yourself 10 new agreements for your unit for the month, with 5 of them being driven by you if nobody else is adding? What have you accepted from yourself, and how do you feel about that? And how does that impact the confidence of your leadership? These are hard questions. They're simple, but they're hard. Most people don't like to answer them. If you want to grow, you've got to be somebody who will not only embrace the hard question, but on a daily ask the hard question of yourself and then create joy around the task. What's the biggest I can dream? And what's the least I'll accept for myself today? Somebody else's dream is attached to your courage, your work ethic, your discipline. And if you don't go out there and make that connection, you're shortchanging yourself and her. It's not I have to. It's I get to. So the first principle I'd like to invite you to consider a solution for is to identify your primary distractions in a day, your go-to good yes that keeps you away from your best yes for a season, and put a voice to those things. Write them down. They probably have something to do with this. Write down the distractions. There is nothing else going on in my house right now. There's not another sound. There's not another noise. There's not another person. What is distracting you? Write them down and then discuss them with a primary relationship. Make a game plan to redirect and establish accountability to execute for just one day and then a week. Many young people today are deleting Instagram and apps for this reason, because it's average today based on your age, that you'll spend somewhere between 7 and 20 years of your life looking at a screen. So focus. As a national sales director in my Voxer group, I'll leave a message and I'll ask for feedback. And some people will get back with me within a reasonable workday response. Some people will go days and some people will never respond. I know two things by that. Number one, as I know their level of focus. And number two, I know how they treasure or do not the opportunity to be in connection with me as a leader. And I got to tell you, that doesn't hurt my feelings, but it does give me direction. You know, Bonnie Raitt's song, I Can't Make You Love Me. It's an old song. I can't make you love me. It doesn't matter what people's words are. And I'm talking about women in your units as well. It doesn't matter what people say they're going to do. I don't get distracted by that. As a leader, I'm clear that I'm invested in people who do what they say, not what they intend. And people who do what they say are focused. If you want to be exceptional in your family, in your community, in our company, or in the country, you know what? Say what you're going to do and then do it. It will make you exceptional, truly. In order to create a habit of focus, you've got to annihilate the habit of distraction. So in addition to what you'll stop doing, what best growth-oriented activity will get your focus, and what does creating a stronger focus look like? That's a big principle, but the most important one moving forward. We have a history and legacy on our side because you're in a national area. And because of what we do and the way we do what we do, we have a future because of what we do in our company, skincare. Our journeys are for our growth and other people's betterment. At this season of my own life, I consider it my great joy and privilege and gift to encourage, empower, elevate, equip, inspire people to live the best version of their lives, maximizing their God-given talents and strengths in a way that brings them joy, fulfillment, and wealth, while they bless others and serve from their most authentic, courageous, called, visionary life. So thank you for the blessing of your time and attention, because I love getting to do what I get to do. I've been where you are. I have the advantage of almost 39 years history, still anticipating the amazing future, but with more confidence in the cycle and confident in what creates sustainable growth. So my story is I came into Mary Kay at age 26, very unskilled in any kind of sales. I was skilled. I brought something to the table. I was a high school English and dance teacher working 90 hours a week, had directed the drill team, the dance team, that choreographed the musicals. I mean, I was a workhorse. But if you know your top 10 Gallup strengths, you can draw on how you've developed and utilized them all your life. Where you are currently is completely aligned with the way you've been thinking and with what you've been expecting, your level of commitment to an outcome, your work ethic, your willingness to do or not to do what you know would be the next game-changing, courageous action. But you guys, we're at a unique position today. So I'm going to encourage you to consider a new approach. Instead of people's resistance to what we have to offer, or there are more direct selling companies out there, or people are afraid of the affiliate model, becoming our reality. It's not going to happen. It may become there may be an addition to our marketing plan, but Brian Rogers has spoken very clearly. Our leadership model is going to stay in place. So consider a new approach when you are approaching other people. 43 to 44% of all people are looking for a side hustle, according to a CBS report. Forbes forecasts that 79 million people are going to open a home-based business in the next 5 years. The truth is there is a science to growth, and you can take it to the bank. I feel like I have the credibility to share this. However, I find many people prefer their limiting beliefs and their fears and their worries more than they like the truth. So depending on where you are is how well you may receive this. Because I'm going to share with you some timeless truths and standards that don't change. What's given, how and where you could pivot to get a different result, to become more relevant, add your style to it. Because when people know better, they tend to do better unless they like their unhealthy, unproductive, limiting belief better. In other words, if the pain of change is greater than the pain of remaining the same, most will remain the same. Health and wellness, it's no longer a secret. Toxins versus nutrients are well established and researched. Secondary, being still or inactive versus active, it creates a lifestyle outcome. Just like with your finances, do you still keep a basket of receipts? That's how I met up with my first accountant. Walked in with like a box of receipts. He still tells this. Or do you use QuickBooks? If we're not growing, we're without excuse, because things absolutely have advanced in a way for us to be at the peak of what we get to do. We're all on our own journey. So my journey came in, didn't know a lot, moved kind of fast because I had an amazing director who stayed in my grid. I want you to hear that. She stayed in my grid. She wrote me postcards. I had a stack of postcards. And I'd get them. I'm like, why is she writing me postcards? I am not going to do this business. And then she kept telling me I'd be a great director. I didn't want to be a director. I wanted to be a high school English teacher. The problem is they weren't paying me anything. And I was in about 16,000 personal debt, and I couldn't figure out how to get out of debt. And then I started hearing my parents, who were educators, their problems resonate through my mind for a whole career. I wanted what I wanted, but I wanted it on different terms, except I wasn't able to change the terms. And then here's Nancy telling me you can transfer these skills and you can bring joy to the mothers. When you impact the mother, you've impacted the teenager. I'm like, no, I want to impact the teenager. I want what I want. But it didn't want to give me back what I wanted. She was persistent. She came to one of my high school dance shows, sat in the audience. I had choreographed all the dances, made the costumes, had the music. We've got high school boys sitting in the auditorium whistling at the girls, whoop, whoop, in the leotards. And she came and she sat in my show. Didn't say a word about Mary Kay. She stayed until the last person left, the last parent left, the last kid left. And she said, I know why you love this. You are an amazing teacher. I know why you love education. They are so lucky to have you. And I thought, she saw me. She just saw me. Maybe I want to become a sales director. Not kidding. That's the story. Became a director, debuted 2 Offspring. I thought, what's the big deal with National? These people, I don't know what's taking everybody so long. I got 2 Offspring. We're gonna roll. Got the Cadillac, picked up the Cadillac, 2 Offspring quit. They returned product. Cadillac got towed. Oh boy. I've got advice worth $1 million because I was given advice worth $1 million. My national sales director, Nan Stroud, told me at this time when it was falling apart and people were returning, because the word on the street was, well, if Adrian and Sally can't do this, I can't do this. So everybody was returning product, and it went from, 0 to hero to 0. And Nan Stroud said, Pam, build your unit size to 100. It makes a difference. Build a sea of red jackets. Don't worry about directors, and build reds with reds. I had to decide, I'm in or I'm out. Am I in or am I out? Am I in or am I out? Am I going to build to 100? Along the same time, my older sister, who has Mensa IQ, and I always had to follow her in school. And so I always thought I was not smart because I had to follow her in school. She clept out of a year of college, and she scored 34 on her ACT before they had practice things. She was the salutatorian of her class, and I'm coming behind her. And she says to me one day, you're never going to make it in this business because you're never going to find anybody willing to work the way you're willing to work. Stuck in my head. Now I've got evidence of failure and my older sister telling me that I'm not going to make it for a valid reason. And I made a decision that I was in. And I decided I was going to build $1 million unit. I looked at the $1 million directors. They had so much fun. They got to hang out with Mary Kay Ash. They got to have slumber parties on the trips. They got to sit on the front row. Their camaraderie with each other. It's like they just kept getting better because they shared ideas with each other. And it was just a whole different everything. I wanted to build $1 million unit, the sisterhood, the sharpening, the friends, the bigger thinkers, they versus the bigger complainers and the quitters and the gossipers. And I was around all the people down here because I was one of those people. I sat in a class at a leadership conference, and Sue Kirkpatrick, National Sales Director, $1 million director, #1 of Diamond back in that day, was teaching. And she would say, well, I do this, and then Kirk does this. I'm single, Pam Waldrop. I do this, and then Kirk does this, and I do this, and then Kirk does this. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just getting madder and madder and madder. I'm like, well, no wonder I can't build $1 million unit. I need a Kirk. I'm like, okay, I don't have a Kirk. I'll hire a Claudia. It was the first time I hired. Delegation was always around me. People always said delegate and get help and pay for help, and I didn't do it. And that day I heard I need a Kirk. I don't have a Kirk. I will hire a Claudia. I hired a personal assistant for the first time. And I was at another director meeting shortly after that in Florida, and I heard someone stand up and say, we're going to be Florida's first $1 million unit. And I'm like, ooh, I like the way that sounds, living in Florida. And then I'm like, no, she's not. No, she's not. I am. I'm going to build Florida's first $1 million unit. I've always said I want to build $1 million unit. And now I know it needs to be Florida's first. And then I thought to myself, I know her. She won't do it, but I will. And I put it everywhere. We're going to be Florida's first $1 million unit. I'll put it on my phone machine. It used to be, those of you who are young, it used to be like a separate machine, and your phone calls would go there, and you'd go back and you would listen to your messages, kind of like your cell phone, but in like 5 places. And so the story was 250,000 unit club. It used to be a unit club, 250 repeated the second year, 250,000. The third year, 350,000. It was really 398,000. So I called my sales development director and I'm like, Brad, 398, round up, right? Because from 250 to 4 sounds so much bigger than 250 to 3. And I've worked so hard to grow and get on the other side of this, to get my unit size to 100, to earn the Cadillac back, and to get red jackets. And it's 398, it's 400. And he goes, no, it's 350. We round down in Mary Kay. I'm like, no. And I start crying. He goes, baby, you're breaking my heart. But it's 350. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I will never ask the company for an exception again. I'll show them. So we did 250, 350, 500. And at 500, I asked the company for reports. I said, I want to see Sue Kay's report. I want to see Gwen Sherman's report. I want to see Carol Anton's report. I want to see Kathy Hallou's report. They were all doing million. I want to see their reports. And it was before, probably HIPAA and legal department and all that. And they sent me their reports. They blacked out their names. And I looked at all these reports. My personality is not like Sue's or Gwen's or Carol's or Kathy's, but I can read a report and I can find the common grounds. And I found the common grounds, what's common to all of these. And I call these critical areas for growth. And I want to give you this today. This is absent personality, experience, preference. If you will do these 5 things, these are common to all $1 million directors. And then I'm going to give you a list of variables, and they're like a booster, like a turbo boost. So the 5 things first that are critical to growth, I want to give you, and then I'm going to give you the variables that if you add them in, it's a turbo boost. Number 1, critical, 10 or more new beauty consultants a month. This is not news to you. 10 or more if you want to grow, 5 if you want to maintain. What was on the reports, most of them was somewhere between 20 and 40. So I set the goal for 25. We did 20. We started getting 25. We hit 68 one month. I thought, oh my gosh, 68 in 1 month. And then a few months later, Gloria added 205 in 1 month. So I want to wrap into that. I got in the 10 or more month club because it's a whole different mindset, whole different group of people. Nobody's making excuses for why they didn't and who didn't want to hear and who didn't show up. This was a group of we're going to make it happen and create growth people. This was also at a time when Tom Watley, who was my president at that time, said, we will pay for growth. And I said, well, I will work for pay. 10 or more new a month. Number 2, 1,000 initial wholesale order agreement month plus 1. Now we've got great starts and all kind of wonderful rewards for that. But if that initial plus 1 was at least 1,000 wholesale, expecting a star, expecting a power start, and expecting pearls of sharing, that whole new package, initial order, and then a launch party like you have never done. Today, we have so many options for launch parties. It can be a Zoom. It can be a Facebook Live. It can be in person. You can invite them on a Scipio campaign. You can invite them in an email. You can invite them on a text. But you've got to take the bull by the horn. And you've got to decide, how many tools in my toolkit do I have for this new beauty consultant? There are multiple ways for me to do it. What's going to work best for you? When are we going to do it? Give me the list. 500 people. You're inviting 100 to get at least 30 there. You take it by the horns. You get the first recruit for her. You make her first thousands of sales in that window. And that initial 1,000 turns into another. This is a critical area for growth. And this is one of the things they were doing well, getting new people with initial order in that package. Number 3, 33 to 50% of your unit ordering, new and existing, every single month. When you've got consistency in ordering, you've got consistency in selling and people working through the product. And I will tell you this today, if you do not get a new consultant in, have her throw away all of her old cosmetics, skincare and everything, throw it away, have a throwaway, burn away party, and restock her with the Hydra Session, which is $309, just those 7 products. And then you add the other boosters and the retinol and the wrinkle limiter and, other skincare products that we're going to use, plus all the color. You're looking at a $600-700 wholesale. And then she's got 5 new skincare customers. She's not going anywhere. She's going to be a part of that 33 to 50% ordering. Number 3, 33 to 50% of your unit ordering every single month. I used to have consistency club programs, 250 450, 650. Now it would be 700, obviously. And the reason the 250, 450 is because the In Touch, most of them were paper orders. There wasn't not an online ordering system at that time. People couldn't do math. I was one of those people. And they used to give out ribbons for everybody who had a perfect order and a perfect check, cashier's check to match it. You would get a ribbon in your order saying, thank you for getting it right. Never got a ribbon. Never. No ribbon for the perfect order. And they used to, when we had In Touch, there wasn't a check the box, to not let it fall below 600. So I padded my awards recognition above that so that they would have to pay attention to it. Number 3, 33 to 50% of your unit ordering every single month. Number 4, your personal 13% commission check on an 8 to 10,000 plus personal team amount. The goal would be to get your Cadillac from just your personal team, 17,000 from just your personal team. Talk about a rock solid foundation. Personal 13% every single month. And then number 5 is retention. It's locking that back door. We open up the front door. You can come in for any reason. Personal use, sell a little, sell a lot, become a national sales director. Oh, you're in my unit. Boom, you can't get out. Sorry, lock the back door. You're not going anywhere. You are going to use our product and you are going to love our product and you're going to have 5 skincare customers and you will never want to leave, can't afford to leave. Lock that back door for all the reasons. Ambassador, personal use. And then here are the variables. Unit size. Unit size is a variable. I have a big unit size that I have passed to my son. Unit size will take you where nothing else will. When you do those 5 critical things and then you have a large unit size, you will be the queen of our seminar. And by the way, for my unit to be number 1 at seminar, we had to do 1,350,000. It's not a problem that somebody else has an advantage. You set your sights on something big. Variable unit size. It will always make a difference. Number 2, star consultants. Elevate those numbers and get a lot of them. How do you get more stars? Figure it out. Number 3, personal selection. This is a variable. If your personal team, you're not doing that 13% solid on 8 to 10,000 plus, personal selection, strengthen that personal team. I think at peak, mine was around 100. So do quota sharing this year. That's a variable. Personally select high caliber people. Number 4, build reds with reds. Reds who have reds. Reds who have a red on their team. And strong $2,000 to $5,000 teams and recognize it. A lot of people doing a little. And then number 5 variable, DIQs and offspring. So I got this picture of the reports in between the 500. The next year we hit 800. Didn't change the goal. We were on target for $1 million until mid-year. Then I went to leadership and got scared. The next year we did 1,250,000 and we were number 2 to Suzanne Brothers. There was no online comparison, had no idea. The next year had a baby and then repeated million, then we three-peated million, and then we were number 1 2 years in a row in 96 and 97. Know your numbers. Growth. Oh, by the way, I used to think that you're either a math person or an English person. I graduated with an English degree. So therefore, I wasn't a math person until I was. And it was actually Dan Madsen. Dan, Dan can go either way. As he's gotten older, he's just so much more endearing, isn't he, Vicki? But we were somewhere, Hawaii, and we were all together as couples, and Dan said something, I said something, and he said, oh my gosh, you're so smart. And I said, what'd you say? He goes, you're so smart. Don't act like you don't know. And I'm like, I didn't really know that. I didn't think that I was. But when someone says something to you that you want to be true about yourself, and it's an unlikely person who says it, I started to believe that I was smart because you're so strategic. Come to find out, strategy's in my top 5 Gallup strengths. I didn't even know it. Mary Kay has exposed the best of me and of you. Growth drives excitement and fast momentum, and unit size reveals who's next to move up. You don't have to be begging people. Unit size will increase higher earnings. It will increase confidence to speak about the opportunity. It will give you a conversation about wealth. What's your number? It was my overriding number 1 thing. And every other program and every meeting and every gathering and every decision was built around how to increase that number. My meeting was created around how to get guests to the meeting. Extra events were about how to be in front of new guests. Skills I developed were around more storytelling and connection, and then mastering the business skills and steps to get them moving as soon as possible. What drove each of these things? Number 1, a solid rockin' gathering place called Unit Meeting. There are flaws of today. I love virtual. I love that I can be with you virtual. I love that I have on soft pants on the bottom half. I love that about all of us. And I love the options that we have. But sometimes on a virtual, we don't do what we would have done in the physical space. So we've got to go back and look at that. What is happening that we're leaving out, that if we walked back into our old unit meeting before COVID, that we had an agenda, what are we leaving out? Make sure that we've got all those things in place. Number 3, girlfriend outings. People who do 700 wholesale plus 1 recruit, do something with them. Number 3, leadership inner circle. It was a quarterly and monthly, leadership breakfast. I said it at 7 a.m., which at that time was not my time of day, but I wanted to see who would come, and I would teach them leadership, John Maxwell strengths, and started developing that inner circle. Number 4, a vision that didn't fade when it wasn't manifesting. Number 5, knowing when to pivot and being willing to do that. And number 6, fingers on the most important elements, critical and variables. You know, that new consultant conversation, that unit meeting reward, creating separate opportunities for leaders, a solid non-changing vision, and never dialing it in. I never canceled a meeting in all of my years until Hurricane Andrew hit in South Florida. And the only reason I canceled it that night, because I felt like we needed to gather, the only reason I canceled it then was because the hotel canceled. When your what and your why are clear and in alignment, how is never the question. You can do everything, but you must figure out the most important thing to do right now. Something I called, when I became a new national sales director, the Shaw time advantage. 40 or more personal team members on the grow by 10 or more a month and over 100 for the year. 100 new for the year with 40 great starts qualified. At my peak, we had 10 directors doing that before we debuted as a national area. The records in our area are 244 agreements for the year Blythe and 144 qualified. Always a 13% commission check. And then building 50% of your unit as seniors. They will not leave when they've got to recruit. And 50% of those in red. Never had that, but always work towards that. So I encourage you to step back and look and see of that principle of clearing the distractions. What would need to go away in order for you to look at that? Principle number 2 is short. There's a starting place to change the trajectory of growth and movement, and it's no secret. What is your best pivot and action step today? There is a starting place to change the trajectory of your growth. What is the best pivot and action step? Narrow the focus and become a beast about those 2 things. This will work. It does work. You have to slow down to speed up. Here's a list of things that are not doing the thing that you need to do to get the job done. Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling yourself to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a list to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Messaging friends who may or may not be doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on yourself for not doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Writing a great post about doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on other people who have done the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on the obstacles of the way you do the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all the adoration you'll receive once you've done the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how other people have done the thing isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing. I'm going to say that growth is your best secret weapon. No matter how you dress it up, the work just needs doing. Like I shared at the seminar, this last one from stage, there's good news and bad news. The good news is it's a great time to be alive. And it's a great time to be a part of our company. And I believe that some doors are going to open for you guys like never before. And that you're going to be in a position to reap some of the most beautiful, lucrative seasons of our company's history. I believe that with all my heart. That's the good news. The bad news is nobody's coming. Nobody's coming to tell you to get out of bed. Nobody's coming to tell you to go to bed. Nobody's coming to tell you to put down Instagram. Nobody's coming to tell you to put down that drink. Nobody's coming to tell you to get on that phone. Nobody's coming to tell you to track 100 hydrosession facials yourself. Nobody's coming to tell you you've got to truly step up into the highest level of discipline and choose and prioritize how you're going to grow this business. It is so simple. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be. Anything worthwhile is supposed to be hard. Embrace the hard. and the joy that comes from hard, and the growth that comes from hard, and the credibility that comes from hard. Imagine starting January 2025 with traction and momentum, with new beneficial habits already in place. You know, really, I'm going to say this month, what will you stop and what will you start that you will track? I published a 90-day planner as a creative work years ago when I became a new national sales director, and I built it on these principles. It's the 90-day design your life principles. One, you can change anything in 90 days. Literally. I mean, if you go December, January, February, you're going to be working 3 months where nobody else is really all that focused. In the Mary Kay world, most people don't wake up until April, and then they run really hard, April, May, and June, and finish with a strong win at seminar. What if you really take on the rest of this month? Go carve out your calendar and look at where, you know, you've already made commitments around Christmas and, you know, days that are not negotiable, and then take the rest of them. You can do anything in 90 days. Number 2, you can't change what you won't acknowledge. Number 3, you can't live your values until you know what they are. Number 4, big one, you don't break a habit until you replace it with a different one. What's the one habit today that has to do with distraction that you would break by creating a new one? You know, you can set a timer on your Instagram and that it will shut off. Hourglass will come in an hour. And you say, it'll either say, remind me in 15 minutes or, okay, thanks, or forget it for today. Time invested in one area. Principle number 5 is time away from another. Yes to being on with you guys today is no to something else. Yes to you being on with me is no to something else. So thank you again for the honor. But that's true every single day, every single conversation, every single hour. Time invested in one area. Yes here is no here. Choose wisely. Number 6, change can be hard, but the pain of regret will always be more painful than the pain of change. So I just pray that as you approach the rest of December and the rest of 2024, that you know what you want, that you really do a hard, deep dive on the numbers for Seminar 2025, and you do the math, and you know where you need to land and look at the hard numbers, and then back it up with activity. What would need to change? What does it need to look like? And how can I just do something absolutely that would blow my own mind and bring so many other people along? You guys have such a beautiful legacy being a part of the Auth National Area. I know my directors are dealing with the reality of the invitation they got to the Mary Kay National Go Give Area Director meeting in San Antonio. And they're like, why do we get this invitation? What does this mean? They're just kind of like now hearing it. Like, we've been talking about this for a while. And I know it's an awkward transition, but I do want to say this. Vicki's legacy will live on through your dreams fulfilled. And it will be both our joy to continue to watch you in Diamond Seminar rise up and step into your rightful place. And I believe that you will. And I wish you Godspeed and his great love and grace and multiplication as you step into this. And I wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. Thank you, Vicki.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, I know that was a lot. And it could be overwhelming a little bit, but tell me, was there anything that like just grabbed you? You're both muted, friends.
I'll go first. Towards the end there, where she's talking about breaking habits, breaking bad habits, going to good habits. I've heard her talk before, but I never heard some of this. It was just absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. And then the pivoting and the action steps and choosing wisely. Mm-hmm. You know, choosing what to do. You know, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? You know, you just have to choose wisely. And being in building mode, talking to people. She just hit on a lot of good things. It was just amazing. How big can I dream?
Yes.
Yeah, that was like, woo, you know, and create joy around whatever we're doing, creating joy around the task.
Yeah.
And identifying the distractions, because we all have distractions.
We sure do.
So that really kind of hit me as well. So no, this was great. Thank you so much for sharing this, Danny.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Terry, what'd you get, baby?
So for me, it's I got that how big can you dream? That's a big thing. Also the distractions, because I am 100% I scroll all night if I could type of concept.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's everybody right now, because our computers cell phones are always in our hand.
Yeah.
But something else that struck me was knowing your numbers.
Mm.
So because I own another business, like you have to know your numbers. You have to know where everything's going. And so this and Mary Kay, they kind of intertwine together with knowing numbers for both.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's not just about, it's about like, what are your numbers for the goals that you've set?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing the numbers, like let's pretend that you've got a non-negotiable that you're going to sell $100 a week. It's knowing where are you on that trek for the $100. And being able to track that. Or maybe your goal is 300 a week or 450 a week, whatever the goal is that you've set.
Right.
Where are you? And, where is everybody on like Star Consultant stuff? Because we still have 4 days, right? Yeah, 4 days. And that's still Rebecca Evans, who's our emeritus that you'll get to meet. She used to say this: you don't have a lot of time, but you have enough time. Like she would say that when we're like 3 days from the end of the seminar year, when we're all pulling our hair out, and she's like, you don't have a lot of time, but you've got enough time. And I'd be like, but she was right. She was right. So it's kind of just getting creative. And one of the things that I wanted to kind of see what you thought, because you are ones that are able to get on a regular basis. A lot of the other gals, the timing doesn't work perfectly, but I'm totally cool with staying in this spot. But what kind of events for guests would be stuff that you're like, hey, that would be really cool. I could get people to come to that. Or I could get people to, meet me somewhere for that. You don't have to answer it right now if it's not coming to you, but I want you to think about it, because there's everything right now between now and the end of the 2024 that can be pamper sessions because mamas are pulling out their hair, wrapping presents and buying presents and all the things. Makeovers for holiday parties. New year, new you makeovers are perfect to be booking now for January.
Right.
But you can also do it in these 2.5 weeks before the end of the year. Because I feel like if we wait too long to book that kind of makeover, they've already taken on whatever they're going to do for their diet for 2025, whatever they're going to do for their clean eating for 2025, their declutter, their less spending. They didn't get the credit card bill yet for Christmas. So it's kind of, those are the times. This is prime time. Some of my best sales have happened by doing in-person appointments between Christmas and New Year's. I had I did a 2-party. This was a few minutes ago, but the best one was on the 26th of December. I had people get together, and it was at the training center. They came over, and if they brought a friend, they got $25 off whatever they bought, and the friend would get $10 off of anything they bought. And it was just an instant. It didn't matter. I mean, I was willing to take it off of some of those sets that, like the special set. I would take 25 off of that if it got butts in seats between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
Because it's a prime opportunity to talk about their own individual skincare.
Yeah.
Get them there, have the makeover, do the Skin Analyzer app, talk about some of the products that would work for them, and then have them play.
Right.
But we still withhold some of the products because we don't want to give them everything, because then they won't have a reason to book,
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of different things. There's, there's eyes, there's brows, there's lips. You could do the red lip because that's a good one for now. It's good for Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Which red lip is the best one for you? Kind of, just kind of think. I mean, because sometimes, people come up with ideas that are just amazing. They're not mine. And we just go, okay, how are we going to do that? It could be a charcoal mask party. It could be a biocellulose party, whatever, I just keep saying, but think about it, because what I'd like to be able to do, especially next week, is a full week before shenanigans happens. There's nothing next week. And a lot of times what happens to us as a world, Christmas is Christmas Day and Christmas Eve and sometimes the day after.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking 3 days, not the whole month.
Right.
Okay. New Year's is New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and probably the day after with hangovers. That's it.
Yep.
So it's not as much as people make it out to be.
Right.
So think of it that way. Is that there are days to work with, and if you can think of like a small topic that maybe we can incorporate with something else,
Okay.
it might be like find the winter colors that are best for you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've got a whole bunch of winter options, and they can come and figure out, depending on their hair and their skin color, which winter colors should they be wearing as far as colors of apparel, and what color they should be wearing on their faces.
Yeah.
We can do all kinds of crazy stuff, you guys.
That would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we have plenty of thoughts. We have plenty of ideas. And so think of anything that like jumps out at you and send me a message, because I want to kind of plot some dates out to give you guys reasons to invite.
Okay.
And then we'll figure out the wheres. I mean, my house is pretty accessible, but I also know there's other places that we can meet. And I'm going to investigate some of that tomorrow when I'm at my networking meeting.
Oh, okay.
Because they have a private room and it's pretty big. And I don't think they use it all the time. I know I have to go through corporate and all that kind of stuff to reserve it, but we'll find out what I need to do.
Okay.
Cool.
Sending positive vibes for that.
Yeah, we're going to find something there. All right, friends. I don't think I need to inspire you any further than Pamela Waldrop Shaw.
No. I just want to say something, going back to like tracking the numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
This is the second quarter, because I haven't done this in a while. I've been tracking Star. I am $3.93 and 45 cents away from Sapphire right now.
You have got this.
And I have a few people that haven't ordered yet that want to order, because I'm still running my special.
Yeah,
so
break it down.
It helps to track the numbers. I guess I've had this in front of me and I've been tracking.
I am so proud of you, because that's, Rebecca always said a track number grows, right?
That's right. Yes.
And she always did what's the number and cross it off as we go.
That's what I've been doing.
Add the number up. I like to take the number and make it down to 0.
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, I love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I know I'll be talking with you guys in the next day or so. Throw me ideas. There's no such thing as a dumb idea.
That's right.